Take it away.
So we are Fund My EDU, and we're a group that is passionate about helping students lower their student loan debt and increase their credit score through micropayments. So this idea was pitched because I have student loan debt that I'm paying on right now, and this group was passionate about helping me figure out a solution to that problem. And we know it's a problem because the Federal Reserve has an online calculator that calculates by the second how much student loan debt we have in the United States. And we know that 43 million Americans have student loan debt. But what we didn't know was whether or not it was a problem on paying those student loans. So we did some research and we talked to people who were graduates, students, universities, and we also did some research on Twitter. So you can tell that people are really angry and upset about paying their student loans. So we surveyed 20 students, 10 graduates, a handful of parents whose children have student loan debt. We actually talked to a director of marketing and communication at a university who was interested in this for lead generation. If someone is getting an associate's in nursing paying on student loans, are they going to get a bachelor's of nursing? He wants their contact information so he can follow up with them and try to sell them his program. He also thinks it would be a good idea to allow parents and grandparents of students to make micropayments because that's something they get asked about all the time. So how do we solve this problem? Students are able to begin sooner. As early as a freshman, they can use this app and make micropayments on their student loans before they even graduate. They can set it and forget it. They link their financial institution, they link their loan company. We pull out the micropayments on a daily basis. They don't have to do anything else or even worry about it. They're going to pay less because we're saving them on interest, and we're going to shorten the length of their loan. So here's our value proposition. Students and graduates are going to lower their student loan debt, increase their credit score from making these payments and paying it off early, set it and forget it. By partnering with a credit union, because we need someone to hold these accounts that acts as the transfer between their checking account and the student loan company, they're going to reduce their cost per acquisition because they're acquiring new customers every time someone signs up for this app. Universities are going to gain leads, and it's a financial aid package differentiator for them. So here's how it works. Each transaction is rounded up to the nearest dollar. The full is collected and transferred to your Fund My EDU account each day. You can set up daily and monthly withdrawal limits, so we're never going to withdraw more than you can afford. Once your Fund My EDU account reaches a threshold of $200, we take a payment of $100 and send it to your student loan provider. A minimum balance of $100 is kept in your account because it's a savings account. You can pull that out if you have an emergency. But from a revenue model, we make money on that interest. So you can interact with our mock-ups if you'd like. You can access them at fundmyedu.co. Here's how it works. You come in here, and this is the landing page, tells you our value proposition. You choose your loan type, subsidized or unsubsidized. You choose how much you think you're going to be able to afford. We based it on 80 transactions. The average roundup would be $50 a month. The loan size is about $30,000 and their graduation day, we can tell them that they're going to save $2,108 and shorten their loan by a year and 8 months. Are they ready to save, or no, they don't need that $2,000? Check their account, they're able to check how close they are to their daily and monthly threshold and how much they've saved to date. How we're going to acquire customers. We've already built up landing page. As you saw before, we're running social media ads, we're running targeted search ads. We've already been talking with a university, and we would partner with a financial institution. We could even offer referral incentives if these students and graduates get their friends on board. Here's our revenue model. You can see how many number of users we expect to acquire between 1 to 5 years, how much we're going to make on 1% interest with an average balance of $91.67. And by partnering with financial institutions, we already know they're paying between $200 and $400 to acquire new customers. We're going to charge them $200 to acquire this customer. So you can see the revenue that we're going to make from that. And then here's our expenses. For year 1 and year 5, our customer acquisition cost is $150. So what questions do you have?
Give it up for Fund My EDU. Judges, you have 3 minutes. Do your worst.
So you're spending $150 to get a customer, that's a $200 one-time revenue for you, or are you also making some sort of ongoing share of that revenue from the credit union?
we're getting some money from interest, but mostly it's a one-time. So basically it's arbitrage play. We're getting them $50 cheaper than the bank is getting them, or sending them to them.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I believe sort of the change recently in that world, and the private market for student loans is sort of, doing this. Do you know, are you familiar with that, and what part of that universe do you play in? Do you know if you're sort of in the part that's getting squeezed out? Because I'm assuming you guys would be out sort of in the private student loan market as well.
Right, we could, for example, with lenders like Affirm, Climb Credit, we can also work with them because basically we're just providing a savings account that helps you pay off a loan. So it could be public or private loans, like with public or private education loans, like you mentioned.
What else did you learn from the students that have debt outside of just needing to pay off their loans?
A lot of them were really uneducated when they first signed up for these loans, so they didn't understand the difference between a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan and how that would impact them financially later in life. A lot of people we talk to, particularly in the nursing industry that are working right now, they're working 30-hour days sometimes, and half the time they don't even know what day it is, and they're often getting penalized with late fees because they're like, oh shit, my student loan payment was due today and I didn't make it. So if this is already making student loan payments for them, it could help them reduce those late fees and kind of remind them of when their payments are due. That's an aspect of the app that we've also thought about. Some other pain points is just students know they need to pay on it, and it's really daunting seeing that their regular monthly payment really isn't making that big of an impact because of interest rates right now. This was all based on a 6.8% interest rate, which is my interest rate on my unsubsidized loans right now. So through this, it would help them lower that amount of their interest rate and kind of show them that there is an end of the tunnel, even if it is kind of farther off. This helps bring that end a little closer.
And do you see opportunity for additional revenue per customer based on some of those features that you described that aren't yet built?
So the referrals, for example, let's say someone finishes a master's in business, they might want to do an MBA, and the MBA program spends about $400 per click to acquire a customer, per click, and then about $2,000 to $3,000, I think, to actually get an MBA student to come on. So, they'll definitely pay for the leads.
Anybody else? No? Great. Thank you.
Give it up for Fun Mike. Thank you, friends. Well, that's it. How do you feel? Is that a big relief? Woo, the culmination of all your hard work.